We've got 4 years to the next election.
Yeah.
We should be canvassing
Yeah,
throughout that 4 years until
we're
it's,
doing that now.
it's a byway,
Canvassing.
you know.
Yeah, because our words are being heard.
And there should be parties. There should be parties, like
Yeah.
potluck parties, and I propose that one be down in Port Dalhousie. And in the
Yeah.
pavilion, in the summertime, do that a few
Oh,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the spring, summer,
Mhm.
absolutely, get
Yeah,
the word out, get the colors out.
Yeah, yeah.
Have the people there, have the laughs, have the smiles,
Yeah.
have the dialogue, right? There's nothing stopping.
In regards to that, so anybody that hasn't already seen anything that I've put out, I have an initiative that I'm pushing forward. So the first meeting for Niagara will be end of April or beginning of May. So watch your emails, please. I'm going to be pulling together for an EDA, for Electoral District Association. But we're going to do it with not just one electoral district, we're going to do all of Niagara as a whole. I'm going to be talking to Jim and see if we can get the approval to have a single bank account that will cover the 4 ridings. And then my plan is also to do that with the 5 ridings in Hamilton. I don't think I have any Hamilton people here right now, but that's the plan. And to do events like that, so we're aiming for every 8 weeks or so to have something, and the goal is to rotate. So let's say once we do it in Ridgeway, then once we do it in Niagara Falls, once we do it in St. Catharines, once we do it in Beamsville, and just kind of have them all over the region so that if someone can't come to one, they can maybe come to another one that's closer to their house. And hopefully we'll have like our regulars that are out every time, so we have some consistency, but then we can have someone sending out email updates with what's discussed, with what's done. We can plan some fundraisers, we can do all of that stuff, and I'm gonna help to facilitate that. I'm hoping I'm going to be asking a couple of people that have been involved with the riding associations already to step up as president and CFO and things like that, so we can get things rolling. But that is in the works. And then so anybody that attends will have input on the next meeting and how we want that conducted. You'll have input on fundraising, everything like that. Again, we are grassroots. We want the input, and we will basically be asking at those meetings that anyone who wants to attend regularly to please purchase a membership with New Blue, so that you are being invited to all of the events, all of the policy conventions, everything like that, because we will be conducting votes as well on things, and you'll have to be a member to vote. So you can still attend if you're not a member, but in order to vote, we're going to require that you are a member of the New Blue. So that's kind of the plan for that going forward. And then just to kind of, I know that you were talking about housing, but another thing that I know that we all need to kind of band on and get the word out on and get more support on is getting our healthcare workers back, no matter what. We need to start pushing for that now. Even though we don't have anyone in a seat in legislation, we can start doing petitions, we can start spreading the word, we can start getting the word out in other ways. I also heard from a friend today, she's a PSW, and because of this wonderful DEI program that they're running, Caucasians are being told to quit their jobs or getting fired so that they can make room for Middle Eastern people, because they need to have a 10-to-3 ratio, I think she said. There needs to be a specific ratio, and they need the turnover rates. And she's a PSW in the Niagara area.
So she would like the healthcare system?
Sorry, I can't hear when multiple people are talking.
Is she in the Niagara healthcare system?
I didn't ask specifically, but she works in Niagara.
Who's the employer?
I don't know, and I would have to ask more questions, but she contacted me directly, and I trust her. I know her. I've known her for many, many years. The point is that they are pushing out Caucasians to bring in people from other races, people that are experienced for new people, because they need the turnover, was her exact wording.
Unbelievable.
Turnover is when one person leaves a company and a new person comes in.
Can't believe it.
Same thing in the casino.
It says, I don't know here, I'll read exactly what it says.
No, they,
Listen to your speech about healthcare. Another good point is that Caucasians are forced to quit their PSW jobs because Indians are taking over and they need the turnover. Literally. My trainer quit because of that. I had a training last week and it was a 10-to-3 ratio. Like WT, yes. Anyways, happy for you, and just thought I'd mention, since I've been arguing with my company for 6 months now. So this is happening, DEI is happening, people are being pushed out because of healthcare. That 18,000 that were fired for not getting the vaccination, that was only in Hamilton. Imagine across the province, across the country.
188,000 in Ontario alone.
It was 188,000 in Ontario. Okay, well, it was 18,000 in Hamilton. In the Hamilton area, in the 760 facilities that are in Hamilton, 18,000, and now I'm hearing 188,000 across the province. We need to stand up and do something with New Blue to work on getting those people back, because we can't wait 4 more years. Oh gosh. So, I wanted to say thank you to everybody that came out tonight, to everybody that donated, to everybody that has come out to share ideas, to share in, you know, just learning more about New Blue, to, you know, for all of you who have just been speaking to people at grocery stores, when you're out and about, you know, we've got, like everybody said, we've got 4 years now, right? So the last time around, I found it was very emotional highs and lows for our first election, and it really kind of got us kind of stuck down here, and we didn't have the jump off momentum. Where this time around, I don't know about the rest of you, but I was a little bit more prepared for what to expect. I walked into it knowing what work needed to be done, what needed to be tracked. Now I've got templates, I've got everything that, you know, as my candidates have seen, I'm like, I'm sending you a template, make sure you fill it out. You know, that's it, and next time I'm gonna have more. And it's gonna be a little bit easier. We're gonna get a little bit more data, and we're gonna get a little bit more things collected when we're out canvassing. We're gonna reach a few more people. We're gonna have a few more volunteers. That is the goal, right? So everybody that stepped up to volunteer, everybody that donated, everybody that provided a sign location, I want to say thank you to everybody, because little do you know how much impact even just having a spot to put that sign is. You know, I had, I think, 73 sign locations across my riding. I had a huge riding. If you look at a map, you would not believe. I'm all the way Troy to Carlisle, all the way down to like almost Ancaster, all the way over to Stony Creek and Glanbrook. It's huge, my area. So next time, I want 150 locations, you know, but that involves talking to people, that involves getting out there, that involves doing all of these things. So there's a couple of things that I just wanted to go over. Candidates, I want to have a meeting with just candidates in the next 30 days. Essentially debriefing, we'll go over some things, we'll go over some strategies, things that, you know, we aren't going to share with everybody, sorry guys, but just some ideas. And I want to say congratulations to every candidate, Gary, Aaron, Rob, Jimmy, and everybody out in Niagara too, because I have to say this time around, with me also knowing what to expect, I feel like we were, you know, a little bit more reasonable, a little bit more grounded, a little bit more, our expectations were in the right place. And I've noticed that what that's showing for me is retention, right? That now I see candidates that want to run again. And that's important, because every time that the same person runs in the same riding, there's name recognition, there's trust that's built within the communities, and that is key. Yeah, perseverance. Yeah, we need to continue to stand up, get our name out there, get New Blue out there. In terms of what Laura asked about, you know, whether what are our restrictions in between the elections? Well, we're not registered as a candidate, so we can come at it, like, if I'm gonna potentially run as a candidate, then that is what I would say, you know, like, I plan to apply as a candidate with New Blue in the next election. I'm not going anywhere. And have you heard about New Blue? Right? You're obviously not saying vote for us. You're not saying anything, but you can't use that word. In between election periods, you cannot say elect, you cannot say vote. Those are your restrictions. You want to educate someone on the party? Perfect. Go ahead. Show them the website. Where are your buttons? If you have a button that says New Blue, maybe I can get my hands on some. Where are your buttons that say New Blue? Where are your buttons that say Axe, the carbon tax? If you've got stuff like that, get conversations going in the grocery store. If you want to talk about how ridiculous our...
You said a button should be ask me about New Blue.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
You
like
know what?
Walmart, right?
Why don't we all pitch in and do that, right? If we've got a little bit left from our campaigns, why don't we do that? Or with the riding association that we're gonna form. Again, I have to talk to Jim about the logistics about that, or Anthony, but we're gonna get that up and running, and that's a great idea. Ask me about New Blue, you know? We know religion and politics is something that's, as you said, a little bit faux pas, I guess. I want to start a podcast called Religion and Politics.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about religion and politics. Is it going to get heated? Probably. Good. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
I don't have to agree with you.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with me, right? We can still be friends.
Absolutely.
I think
So-
it's more about the ethics of being spiritual is higher than if you're not spiritual.
But
they-
we need to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to be able to talk about it with people
Yeah.
of all walks of life.
Yeah.
So, and we need to still be able to be friends at the end, even if we don't agree with
We
each
just
other.
don't want people to think New Blue means
No,
religion.
it's not going to be a New Blue podcast. It's going to be a
Yeah.
Kristen Halfpenny
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, you know, these are the things. Just start talking. Just start talking to people if you're not already. Everyone that is here and anybody that you're going to invite along for our riding association meetings, please, if you have questions, ideas, anything like that, write them down. Because by the time we get together at the end of April or the beginning of May, you're not going to remember them. So please, if you have questions, if you want to know why we did something a certain way during the election, or you know, what we're allowed to do going forward, or if you have ideas or whatever, write them down, bring them with you to the next meeting. I'll try to have, you know, a 30-minute section or whatever where we have an open forum and people can come up and address those. And I have a specific question that I want you guys to ponder between now and then. And I believe that Erin kind of touched on this at the end. So my concept, and we've been talking about this on our New Blue campaign chat on Facebook. How do we reach the 54%, 56% of people that are not voting? They either have never voted because they don't think that it's important, or they're sick of politics and they've given up hope. So how do we light a fire in them to make them understand the urgency and the importance of voting, and how do we give them hope? And well, but this is what I'm saying, right? I want you to just give that some thought, write down your ideas, bring them to the next meeting. We don't really have time for ideas right now. Give it some thought. Write them down, bring them in with you. I want to dedicate a half an hour at the first meeting, second meeting, you know, at least, you know, 2 or 3 times a year to specifically that. How do we reach those people? How do we make them see how important it is? If you're sick of politics, it's more important than ever that you vote. I hate politics too. I don't want to be doing it. Like I was like, you want me to get involved in what? I don't want to do politics. I'm not a political person, or at least I thought I wasn't a political person. But it turns out that the people that hate politics the most are actually the best at it. So, and that's because we're so sick of the way that politics is being run that we think that we don't like politics. It's not that we don't like politics. Politics is just the art of how human beings interact with each other. It's in your work, it's in your schools, it's everything. It's the art of how we function as a society. But the problem is, I'm sick of establishment politics, establishment people in politics. Career politicians.
Yeah.
They have one interest, and that's this.
But they're
How can I get what I want?
just social media.
Well, that's where they're at, and we have Jim and Belinda who genuinely have their heart on the people. Anybody that has seen Belinda's videos sees how much she fought for the people in her community, and
They could
those
do
are
more.
the kind of people that are stepping up with New Blue.
Yep.
Real people fighting for real people, standing up for you, and we stand up for each other, and that's what it comes down to. And I just want to thank you guys once again.